Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead. And but I thought a young kid, teenager, would resonate with everybody. I couldn't have been more wrong. I was so fucking wrong. I mean, because, well, if he's at 17, 18, 19, what the fuck should I have been doing? But that's not the reason I did it. For you to ask yourself, what the fuck have I been, you know? But the fact is that if a 17-year-old can do it, then me at 34 should be able to do it. Me at 26 should be able to do it. Well, and now when you get farther up the age scale, and it's a good thing Raymond's not here, 50, 55, he can't relate to 17. You know?
Mr. Peña, you mentioned that he was raised very well, though.
Oh, yeah, well, he was raised well, you know, and my parents only did 7 things different with me, which I've already I've listed before. But now there's a couple of Eagle Scouts in here. He was an Eagle Scout. That was his claim to fame. That's it. He didn't do shit. We're talking about Josh. But he was raised by a West Point officer, very strictly, and his mom, a child psychologist, who's a super gal. But and whereas when they were all the brothers and sisters are homeschooled. So what has public education done for you? How's that program worked out? Not very well. You can't really say that I was publicly educated because for my senior year in high school, there's 220 days, I believe, in a year. I was absent 180. My senior year in high school. So how much education did I really get? Okay, well, now we're going to have some presentations, but questions. There were a couple of questions that you may have asked me that I didn't answer. Anybody else have any questions? Jessica, I'm
trying to remember what questions I had asked. I asked a lot.
I told one of you, please ask me during the big group. Now, it wasn't you, Ty, that I said that to.
Affirmations, you said.
Okay, that's another thing. Okay, but somebody in one of the groups, and I said, remind me of the question I want to explain to the group.
You wanted to talk about how the businesses are ran based on his presentation.
His? Mm-hmm. Well, when he gets up and explains it,
we were talking about when he gave his presentation, was talking about all the hardships of the business and the things that were basically that's what we're not seeing.
Correct. You've heard about some heartaches on some of these acquisitions. Every acquisition is going to be a heartache in one form or another. Because most of, not just you, but most of us, most of the people that come to the seminar aren't prepared. You can follow the steps, you can do all the things, but as I say, then you got to implement and execute. Implement and execute, i.e. show leadership. Jessica shows that leadership. But if you don't implement and execute, and you won't fail because you'll be better off because you bought something that you didn't have with no money. So to that extent, you're going to benefit. So QLAs work for you in some marginal way. But it's certainly not going to create tens or hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. You've got to implement and execute. Well, good. He doesn't drink, so you can give me a drink. Okay. But it's the implementation and the execution and these horror stories when you get into the businesses and they're lying and cheating and stealing. I won't say every acquisition you're going to make, they're going to be lying and cheating and stealing, but many of them. There is a skeleton that's something that you don't, in every acquisition that you didn't uncover with due diligence. There is something, and it's different for every industry. You know, I've already told you that if you buy crematoriums, you're going to be having Fido and Grandma mixed together. They don't tell you that. That sounds like a developer deal, you know. Now, see, I teach Barrett, but he has some skill sets that would be good for the crematorium business. Selling them the eternal light. I can just see you doing it with a straight face. The eternal light. That's an inside joke, YouTube. That's a secret sauce. We're not talking about that on YouTube. Okay, who's going to be first to come up and present his wares? Okay. Now he looks like a mortician from Dubai Or a mortician from Bangalore wearing a light colored suit, linen suit. They don't have morticians in Bangalore. I have all these flashbacks to some fun Sally and I had in India. As much as I complain about it, we made a shit ton of money. So I want to make that clear. As much as I complain, we made a shit ton of money. It was criminal we made so much money, metaphorically speaking, of course. It was criminal. A few Indian partners wanted to make it criminal, but that's a whole other story that we have to share off of YouTube. So what are we seeing here? Now, you're an IT guru, so I'm a little scared now because you can't make it work. EJ, would you help him, please? I always love when the IT gurus get up there and they can't make the shit work. Then I feel better. Any other questions while we're waiting from anybody? Ty, now you can ask me.
Ask about cash flow.
Okay, affirmations, okay. You want the secret affirmations, or you want the affirmation for everybody on YouTube to hear?
Everybody in the YouTube.
Oh,
Mr. Peña.
Jesus.
Just cancel that out.
You keep calling me Ty.
Just take a picture of Cat. Take a picture of Ty.
Actually, going to think that Ty is.
Yeah. Take a picture. You know. Now, see, we brag about Dan Locke being here, but we haven't told everybody Ty Lopez is here.
Yeah.
Oh. Do we know what we're doing? Now, don't get nervous now. The world and India are watching you.
Only 1.4 billion people are watching. Don't freeze up now.
Can I get my Slurpee?
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
All right. So, Mr. Chairman of the board,
Yeah, okay.
my fellow board members of the Tesla Motors, I, the Chief Executive Officer of Tesla Motors, will present you the proposal to acquire the SolarCity, a company which specialization in installation of the solar panels in US part. So at the end of this presentation, I would expect from you a recommendation on whether should we go for this strategic tie-up, a go or a no-go. Based on the go, we'll ask our experts to give us an exchange price for the stock, and then I'll share this with you in the next subsequent meetings. So SolarCity was started in 2006 by two brothers, and within 2015, it was the largest installer of the solar panels in US with more than 0.1 million installations. The lithium-ion battery technology is really great, and it will help us in our all-electric vehicles. So it's a very good strategic acquisition for us. We are going to look into the numbers a little later. Secondly, for most of our charging stations, currently we are paying to the utility company. We can reduce that cost by 80% by powering them with the solar panels from SolarCity. So SolarCity has not been, although it has been public in 2013, but for past so many years it has not been profitable. And let's look at some of the numbers. So here's the income statement. So as you would see that it's got a good revenue. The growth is almost 62%. Top line growth is 62%. However, they have a very high marketing as well as the administrative cost. And this is where the Tesla can add value. So when we acquire this, we are able to reduce this cost substantially.
You're talking about Tesla acquiring this.
Tesla acquiring solar.
Stock. You haven't gotten to stock for stock yet. You haven't gotten that far. Okay, go ahead.
And currently, since this company has lots of debt, so the debt to equity ratio is 1.45, which means quite a bit of cash goes into payment of the debt, and the interest rate also increases a lot because of the high debt to equity ratio. By Tesla acquiring this particular company, we will be able to reduce their debt to equity ratio to 1.1, which also brings down the interest rate to almost from 6.85 to 6.25. That's a substantial saving in the cash flow, and also the tax bracket reduces quite a lot. Based on this,
So it's losing 800 million.
it is losing 800 million. Yes. So based on this proposal, Goldman Sachs has given the projection how it would look like, and you would see the last table here. Currently, it's losing, let's say, 634 in EBITDA. After acquisition, since we use their technology for lithium ion as well as the revenue from powering the charging stations, there would be a positive cash flow of $347 million straight away. And this also helps us in Tesla's energy generation and the storage business, because these guys are really great in their lithium-ion technology, the lithium-ion technology battery businesses. So within a matter of 4 to 5 years, you could see that revenue would increase to 5 billion. From currently 730, it would increase to 5 billion. So I think this is a very good strategic buy for Tesla, and I would like to hear your recommendation.
Okay, the first thing I would go, look in hindsight, you can actually see, we know what the real numbers were for 2018 because it's already passed. If you want to go and check the viability of the people that give you numbers, look at a past deal, see what the projections were, and then go back and see if the projections actually came to fruition. 99 times out of 100, they don't. They're just smoke, mirrors, bullshit. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Peña, for your information, based on the quarterly report of 2017, the revenue for Tesla, only from the energy generation business, after acquisition of SolarCity was 0.9 billion, which is very close to 969 million.
Okay, that's good. That's a good fact. Okay. So what's the question?
Question to the board is, should we go or should we not go? And
Well, based on the information, well, this is not a QLA model, but based on the information you've given, the synergies, etc., it's a go. And I think in hindsight, looking back on the acquisition, it was a go. And it was a stock for stock deal, if I remember correctly. 0.0082 share. Okay. And it worked out. But most deals, another thing to check, and it's hard to check, was the culture clash between the two different companies. Because most of these mergers fail because of culture clash. In other words, they've got a gunslinger mentality in one company, and they've got, a techie nerd mentality in another company, and you can't make them work together. And I don't know if that's the case here. But certainly there are nerds in the Tesla organization, and I don't know if there's probably an equal amount of nerds in the. And I don't mean that derogatorily. I mean the guys that make shit happen on the internet. So, but on the face of it, it sounds like it should be. It should be a go.
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. That's it. Now, since I've done these cases 50 times, and I know who worked out and who didn't work out, I try to cut to the chase. But for your own edification, numbers that you're given by your business broker, let's bring it down home. Okay, he gives you 5 deals, 5 numbers with projections. Ask him to go back 5 years. And a lot of this is already online. They can't hide it from you. Go back 5 years and see if those projections they made as a business broker entity were anywhere close to being accurate. I already can tell you the answer, that almost always they're not. Not like this one where it was within 10%. But if you want to know if the guys, now when Goldman Sachs gives you numbers, that's different. When Joe Schmaltz, a business broker from Tuskegee, Alabama, gives you business numbers, they're probably wrong. They're probably wrong. And they will be hesitant or insulted that you ask for the past deals. Now, one of the things that I say, okay, give me 3 satisfied customers that, as a business broker, you represented. I want 3 dissatisfied customers. They will balk because everybody's got 3 satisfied customers. Well, everybody in this room has probably had 3 lovers that wouldn't bitch about them. 87 lovers that would. So you want to ask about 3 dissatisfied. And so, and then I say, why? Well, I said, it's pretty obvious. I want to know, what went wrong? What can go wrong? Because remember, the business broker numbers and the business plan, etc., will not fail on paper. They're going to give you the best case scenario. Now, when I look at numbers, other than the numbers I've already showed you, the 5 points, I cut the most optimistic comparison or projection in half by 50%. If the dog still hunts, I'll look at it. Not because normally it's a low case, medium case, high case. I take the high case and I cut it in half. And then I'll look at it. But I'm not, the high case, it's just that he was on LSD or some shit when they put the spreadsheet. Pardon?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking. And basically, as not just because Elon Musk says it, we're optimistic, most of us. I'm not. I'm pessimistic because remember I've got 3 million pores. I've been fucked in every one of them twice. But so I don't trust many people because my experience is over money, big amounts of money, their personality changes. They will lie, cheat, steal, and some people will kill. So the bigger the numbers, the higher the probability of them lying. Now, if you have Goldman Sachs numbers, they represent them, it's 99% accurate, not 100%. JP Morgan said 99% accurate. ABC Securities Company from Mobile, Alabama, I want a second and third opinion on the numbers. And a lot of the business brokers don't cheat you on purpose. They're just stupid. They're not professionally educated. There is no license now you can be a CPA, you can be a certified financial planner, and you can a chartered accountant like in this country. But for business brokers, as we said yesterday, there's no real licensing authority that keeps track of them or holds them accountable for being honest. Now, there's an association for developers in the Caribbean, right?
I actually tried to set one up.
Oh, so there isn't. Don't show his face. Don't show his face.
I was trying to create a bottleneck.
Yeah. Okay, any questions about Tesla? No questions. Okay. Next presentation. Who's up? Okay. Is this the angry Swiss man or angry German Swiss man?
German.
Look at that picture. Hey, wait a minute. Show that picture to John in the front row. Wait a minute.
We saw it.
Oh, you saw it? Oh, yeah.
Everybody saw it.
Okay. Go back to that slide. I want to see it again. Not Jason. Now, see, there he is, looking very presidential at the end of our board meeting, right? That was at the end. And those are our illustrious board members. No, one of them is our lawyer. The short, fat guy's the lawyer?
He's one of the
lawyers. Okay, now show the other picture of him. And there we are. We were his guests at dinner at Cut, Wolfgang Puck's place. But now they're drinking. And now they're drinking. And I'm catching flies there with my open mouth, but I think I was drinking the most. I might not have been, but I certainly seemed that way. Okay. He's going to tell us his story in a couple of days.
So this thing about 3 dissatisfied customers, I've never heard that before. So
as experienced as you are, I'm making a joke here. You're supposed to laugh. We're supposed to get laughter. If Red Fox used to say,
I was laughing.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir? So 3 dissatisfied customers.
Can we cut?
Oh yeah. Cut YouTube. Yeah.